Being sick is a new low for me because every day that I'm sick, I'm being driven closer and closer to committing suicide. You know, and if you say that I'm being dramatic, then I'm taking you down with me, bitch. If we go down together, you know what I mean? So I was hanging out with my friend, and she was coughing a little bit, and I didn't really think that much of it, but in the back of my mind, I was like, girl, if you get me sick, I'm literally never speaking to you again. And you know, what do you know? She was sick. She was obviously sick. I got woken up by a text in the mere late hours of the night. In the pitch black devilish darkness of my bedroom, my phone lights up. I see a text, and I read it, and it reads, "Hey, I've been up all night sick. Tread lightly." I was thinking, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? Should I sit in front of the toilet and just wait for my ever-going doom, despair, and demise? I have a major fear of vomiting. I've always had a major fear of vomiting, and I always will have a major fear of vomiting, so this did not sit well with my soul. At this point, I was waiting to see Satan's hands reach up and claw me into the underworld. I go to bed that night, and I just decide, hey, I'm just gonna wait out my fate. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm not even gonna get sick. Oh boy, was I wrong. I wake up the next morning with that scratch in my throat. One specific scratch that you have a glimmer of hope in your eye that if you drink water, it'll go away. Foolishness, that fool's play. Scratch in your fucking throat. Scratch that gives you the slightest bit of hope, and then it tears it away like a parent giving you the wrong present on Christmas morning. Sitting here, I'm frantically drinking water. I'm like, oh my god, this cannot be my fate. I've now downed 2 glasses of water at the most sonic lightning speed you will ever see in your entire life before accepting my fate. At this point, I'm sitting here staring at my wall like a mortal fool, realizing that this is what my life has finally come to. This is what I have to accept now. Before I begin to doom scroll like any usual sickness begins to come to, I decide to sit on the toilet for a little while. I get up to take my morning piss. When I get up, I begin to get so lightheaded, I thought that God himself was about to grab my skull and just pull me off the earth right then and there. Symptoms slowly evolve throughout the rest of the day. I begin to get a stuffy nose, you know, my head feels like it's gonna explode, all the classic illness symptoms. I go to bed that night after a casual day of doom scrolling on TikTok to wake up the next morning to another text. This time, it wasn't the usual, I was up all night getting sick. No, that's a fool's game. That was the beginning of what was about to be the rest of my week. Hey! I have COVID, actually. I just went to the doctor. He said I had COVID. What do you mean you have COVID? Reading this text almost made me suicidal. I hate being sick, but the last time that I had COVID, I got COVID and strep throat at the same time, and I was not about to go through that shit again. And what do I respond to her text? Hey, thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know? Thanks for letting me, you just got me sick! So now, not only am I sitting in my room like, oh, I'm sick, but I'm sitting in my room, hey, I have COVID now. What? Day 2 is when the fever kicked in. That good old can't regulate your body temperature, I feel like I'm being set on fire type fever. My life and soul has now been bound to nothing more than cough drops, Vicks Vapor Rub, and a ball and chain that is my humidifier. The only place I can travel to is the bathroom and my bed. I'm stuck in the absolute trenches of the worst that my sickness will ever be. Day 2. Day 3 rolls around, and I'm thinking about setting a doctor's appointment. You know, I had to cancel my therapy session. I wasn't doing well. It's February, seasonal depression season. I'm sick. I'm depressed. I'm cold. I'm sweating. I'm not doing well. That's when my mom says, hey, let's wait till Friday to see if your fever goes away. I'm dying! I don't want to wait to see if my fever goes away. I'm gonna die. Hey, I'm gonna die. On the spot, I'm gonna die. Get me a casket, sign the will. It's game over. It's game over for me. There's no saving me at this point. Now, the worst part about this whole thing is I'm not even allowed to see my dog at this point. Because every single time that I see my dog, I get her sick. She somehow gets sick and ends up peeing all over the carpet and throwing up everywhere, and it's a nightmare. And nobody wants to deal with that. So I've been bound to my bedroom without my dog. And to add on to absolutely everything that is already happening that's awful, I can't even do any of my schoolwork. And by the way, I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind on my schoolwork, and it's just piling up from there. And I can't even do any of it because every time that I try to sit up in bed, I almost pass out. So that's really great. I'm just stuck in, I'm chained to my bed, and I can't work, and I can't see my dog, and I can't go to the doctor because we want to wait till Friday! Oh, sure, fine. It's whatever. I'll just start digging my grave. I'll just start right now. Day 4 rolls around, and I'm starting to get flashbacks to when I had pneumonia. I'm starting to get war flashbacks. By the way, if you're unaware, whenever I had pneumonia, I almost broke a rib from coughing so much, and I had to go get an x-ray because they refused to diagnose me with pneumonia because I was one of the first people to get it before the outbreak, because I'm sick all the time, because I get sick with everything. I rolls around. It's finally Friday, and my dad offers to stay home and take me to the doctor. Now, don't get me wrong. I would have loved going to the doctor, alright? But I have crippling anxiety, and my mom is always the one to take me to the doctor. So when my dad offered, he never takes me to the doctor, and my fight or flight kicked in, and I said, no, I'm feeling better. Big mistake. Big, huge. I was so sick whenever I said that I could barely even talk. So whenever I said that I'm feeling better, it didn't sound like I'm saying it right now. It sounded like, I'm feeling better. I don't need to go to the doctor. At night, I was home alone, and I decided to call my friend, and we were going to play some video games. We were going to get our video gameage on. And as you know, when you're on a call with your friend, and you're home alone, you tend to talk louder than usual, maybe scream a little bit, get a little bit rambunctious, if you will. So I took it upon myself like a fool to be screaming on the phone for about 2 or 3 hours nonstop. Another big mistake. Absolutely ginormous, huge mistake. Period. I couldn't talk. My voice was, how after you go to a concert and you sound like this whenever I talked, I didn't even sound like that. It was completely mute. I was mute to guzzling water, gulping it down, trying to get my voice back. My throat hurt so bad that I felt like someone was inside of my throat and stabbing it repeatedly. It was awful. It sucked. And then I literally woke up the next morning and I was fine. I still have a little bit of a sniffle, I don't know if you could. Other than that, I was completely fine. So if you're gonna take anything away from this, if you're hanging out with someone and they start coughing, shoot them on the spot. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands, wipe your pee off the toilet seat. Love you.
Love you guys. Don't forget to smile.